you get older, you find yourself like you're a guest in hip hop. You know what I mean? You're here, but you don't have no say so. You don't really got no say so. Anyway, they was giving Lil Yachty a hard time. They've always given Lil Yachty a hard time. This nigga sucks. Or so I believe. I believe he sucks. Apparently, the youth said he don't suck. So who the fuck am I? That's what I think a lot of the legacy hip hop media people do not get, is that it's a young man's sport. It's youth culture. You can't tell these little niggas what's hot and what's not. That's the opposite of hip hop. Anyway, let's hear this perspective. I don't know how I feel about Lil Yachty. I'm gonna give it real with you. I know Cole like Minnesota, and I heard him on a couple other records, and it makes me want to turn it off. His voice to me sound like you ever heard a dog? You ever step on a dog toy? How was it? Here, sound fair. Y'all don't understand what I'm talking about. Let me show y'all niggas real quick. Like a dog toy. That shit, that kind of thing. That don't sound like That don't sound like Lil Yachty, y'all. That don't sound like, go like Minnesota. Go like Minnesota. Go like Minnesota. All right, I'm now gonna play some Lil Yachty real quick. Go like Minnesota. I'm sorry, algorithm down, nigga.
Play for an ultra?
Brace you for an ultra?
Don't forget, there's ultra.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Alright, I'm gonna just jump into it because y'all know I can't play it. Minnesota, call like Minnesota. Right? Y'all don't hear it? Y'all don't hear it? Y'all don't hear it? Y'all don't hear the dog squeaky? Call like Minnesota. Call like Minnesota. Anyway, that's how he rap. That's how he rap. So to me, I ain't really like it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really my kind of stuff. But once again, I'm old. Who the fuck am I? And so is Charlamagne and everybody else who be hating on this little nigga. So the title of this video coming from my nigga, Poetic Flacco. I personally think he's tripping on some of his takes. The people's hairline is wrong this time. Shout out to Poetic Flacco. I fucks with that nigga. Even though his hairline be arching like The Rock's eyebrow. I ain't got no hairline. I can't talk. Anyway, the title of this video coming from Poetic Flacco is... Which one I'm about to do? Y'all had all this shit set up. Oh, yeah. Today has been a terrible day for Lil Yachty.
Lil Yachty is public enemy #1 right now after his interview with Bootleg Kev. We'll get back to the video shortly, but I want to let you guys know this video is being sponsored.
Nigga.
You can do so on Kalshi by
Right.
During the interview, he talked about how the rap old heads, or like the old school rap old heads, how they canceled him back in 2017, and how he regretted how apologetic he was during the cancellation. And if he had to redo it, he would do things all over again because he feels like he was actually right. Now, if you guys forgot why they canceled him back in 2017, they canceled Lil Yachty because Lil Yachty would do interviews where he will say things like, oh, Tupac is boring and Biggie is overrated.
It's overrated. I don't know. I've never listened. I'm not going to say I've never listened.
Call like Minnesota.
I've like heard like there's his stuff in movies and stuff. I grew up very sheltered. I can't.
And they playing some 90s sitcom rock too.
Say the same for him. I can't say the same.
That should sound like a white daughter about to come down the steps She got dropped off from a date or something, or she about to go on a date. Listen to the music.
Movies and stuff. I grew up very sheltered. I can't say the same for him. I can't say the same for him.
Boy situation happened, and then they.
Now they're saying, Lil Yachty don't have the same background, and that's another thing. A lot of the younger dudes have a completely different background and upbringing than some of the legacy hip hop heads. I don't know what to call them, but a lot of them they got a different background. They mother had a good job. They weren't in the projects. They never had a syrup sandwich. They didn't live through the crack 80s. Zombies and shit running up and down the street. They don't understand that stuff. This is new territory for them. And to them, Brenda's Got a Baby sounds whack. Brenda's got a baby. I'm talking about, I just ignore Biggie. First of all, I was more of a Biggie fan than a Pac fan. I know that's a particular type when you speak of old school hip hop, but I was more of a Biggie fan. You know what I mean? I think him saying Biggie sucks is or overrated or whatever the hell he said. I think that's a high insult. But I get where he coming from, because he don't know no better.
Ask you about the Notorious B.I.G. and you're
that was
honest.
actually before, technically, but
No, that was before, but but
it came out
timeline wise,
after,
it came out after, right?
Right.
So I ask you about the Notorious B.I.G. and then you're just like, yeah, he's overrated to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then that happened, and then
that was crazy.
That was crazy, right? Yeah, because then people take it very personal when it comes to Biggie. And
at the time, I wasn't really, understanding that, but now I'm at a point where I understand. It's a lot serious, to specific people, because it's just like, I don't know, he's just one of those subjects that just like,
it's touchy, dog. Him and Pac, it's touchy, it's emotional. People are invested.
Exactly. And, I'm from a new generation where I just wasn't as emotionally connected, but I'm at a point now in life where I understand it.
Yeah.
And I respect it, and so.
And that's true too. You learn things as you go along. You gotta consider this is a kid. He don't know. He's like, that shit sound whack to me. I want to hear. And plus, the kids used to listen to computer voices. All the rappers for the most part got a computer voice. Excuse me. I'm sorry. But yeah, everybody got a cute computer voice. They like that. They need that little taste of you know what I mean, auto tune or some kind of transformer type sound or something. That's what they like. They's like, these niggas don't got no computer voices. This is bullshit.
You learn from it.
Exactly.
I always thought the backlash that Lil Yachty was getting for what he said about Tupac and Biggie was kind of like nonsense from my perspective, because Lil Yachty was 19 years old in 2017. Lil Yachty was in IEP classes his entire education.
Nas was 16 when he wrote Live at the Barbecue. I'm just saying.
Right? And from kindergarten to high school, Lil Yachty was in IEP classes with 4 kids. Lil Yachty was not listening to Tupac. Lil Yachty at that time probably couldn't even understand or comprehend what Tupac was saying. Right now, again, Lil Yachty has taken leaps in growth, and Lil Yachty right now is like a normal functioning adult who's really smart. But at the time, Lil Yachty was this dumb kid who could barely articulate or say a sentence.
Hold on, what you trying to say? Lil Yachty was he was that, and then he grew out of it. They're trying to say he wasn't regular at first, and now he got better. I didn't know you could heal that shit. He got healed. Let me look this shit up. Is Lil Yachty I'm dyslexic, y'all. I can't spell Yachty for shit. I'm looking at it. I can't spell it. Oh, shit. Yachty. I feel like I'm going to get I can't even type that. Did y'all know? Oh, man. I'm going to blank that out. I swear to God when I let this go. That's the only thing I'm cutting. Other than that, this show gonna be raw dog, y'all. Oh, you can't say that. It's special. Special ed. I don't know. I can't find out right now to say whether, what's up with him. If he regular or not. But even if he was in them classes, a lot of people was in those classes and they was regular. They just couldn't calm down. Some people like that. They got a lot of energy and stuff. He doesn't strike me as that way. Maybe he needed to speed up. I don't know what his problem was. But that's what Flacco's saying. So that's Flacco's analysis. He says that Lil Yachty was he was not regular, but now he is.
Of course he wasn't listening to Biggie or Pac. So I never understood the backlash because, yeah, you would expect that coming from people like Lil Yachty. But Lil Yachty got a lot of backlash. As you can see, he was pretty apologetic. He says, he understands it now. He didn't understand it then. But he kind of had to say it because Lil Yachty was treated like public enemy number one. I remember his Breakfast Club interview where Charlamagne the God tells him that he's literally the face of whack rappers. Like, he's like the poster child for whack rappers right now because that's how they treated him. Like, all the old head, super rappity rappers, right? They had multiple diss records towards Lil Yachty. They had multiple disses towards Yachty. I think at some point, Diddy dissed Lil Yachty.
Then pitch it and then kind of just like punch in.
Yeah.
Diddy need to shut up. Everybody that Diddy used to diss back in the day, it's like, nigga, you was for real, you got some goddamn nerve. Especially if they knew, because they said a lot of stuff that Diddy was doing was like not a secret. You know what I mean? Like, he hadn't been charged with anything and all that other stuff like that. But they said it was not a secret. Like, people knew about Diddy. How you taking the Diddy? Well, they also said Diddy was a big old gangster on the low. On the low, quietly he was. Anyway, let me go back to this.
For the most part, I write a lot too.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said Drake was better than Biggie and Tupac, right? One time.
No, I never said that.
What did you say?
I recorded that. I didn't say nothing. I held the phone and recorded my friends arguing with my manager and Cody Shane's mother.
What do you think about Hov?
I never cared about that.
I think Jay-Z is one of the smartest artists, along with P. Diddy.
Mm-hmm. And nice guys too.
I think P. Diddy hates me.
Why?
Because it was bigger remarks. I haven't spoken to him though. I remember he posted a video on the internet talking about new rappers. I just felt like he was targeted straight at me.
Oh, he said that thing. But see, that's you. That's you being in your own head. Because like I told you earlier, you are the poster child for whack rappers. If they want to say somebody whack, they say you.
Damn, he's reached that status. We used to have that back in the days. That's when it used to be Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer. Which I look at both of them differently now, but back in the days, that's what the culture said is boo, boo, automatically. And it changed over the years, and it's like the opposite. Like back in the days, they used to have the King of New York. It's the opposite of the King of New York. Like the King of New York at the time, before rap sort of blossomed everywhere. I mean, it had already blossomed everywhere, but New York was still very, very arrogant. You know what I mean? And during that period, on the opposite side of that was people that was real. The king. So they saying Yachty was the king? That's messed up, Yachty. He was in special class.
He's not the poster child for whack rap.
Allegedly. We also, remember, we looked into it. We don't know if he was in a special class. That was the allegation. They allegating on this nigga.
It happens. No. It happens every few years. It was Trinidad James at one point.
Whoa, that's what I'm in?
Yes, perception-wise.
But we in two different lanes, man, Trinidad James. I feel like to even say that I took his spot, like he was there and then I stepped in at Trinidad.
Don't get me wrong. I think Lil Yachty's opinion on Tupac and Biggie was absolutely wrong, right? It was just disastrously wrong. But he was a kid at that time, right? He was a child, so you kind of expect dumb things like that from him. I do kind of feel like the treatment he received was a tad bit unfair. Well, Lil Yachty was on Bootleg Kev podcast earlier this week, and he was speaking about those times. And he take back all the apology, all the PR thing he did.
Take it back.
Because now he's standing on it. Now, he didn't say Tupac and Biggie specifically, but he speaks on that particular era.
If you want to stand out in 2026, you have to create with tools that keep you sounding original. Now, co-producer...
That nigga had a Future haircut. I never rewind the commercial. What was that shit? I can't see it. God damn it, they won't let me do it.
Finds human-made samples that...
Yo, you came out of the SoundCloud era that is so... It's historically important because...
That nigga haircut had a little piece, a little connector to it. It had a charger. Had a charge port. Niggas getting ready for that chip. Put that chip in your brain. All right, I'm gonna shut up.
Specifically, but he speaks on that particular era.
Yo, you came out of the SoundCloud era that is so... It's historically important because we got so many incredible artists, but also there was so much crazy bullshit that kind of came out of that era as well.
But every era, you know, so funny. I remember when I went to do my research on just like the music that came before me. It was a lot of bullshit that came out of the '90s.
It's fair.
A lot of bullshit that came out in the fucking '80s and early 2000s. But they act like only the 2016 and up.
I just think it was a little more. I think it was a little more. It was a little more elevated.
Sure,
the amounts of bullshit,
but not all of it.
No, you're right.
There's some stuff out there but it's so crazy. I remember in 2016, before I did my research, I didn't know this. If it was 2016 and I knew it was so much bullshit in the 90s, I'd be like, yo, y'all fucking tripping. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of weak ass shit going on out there. And just to be, as a matter of fact, actually, you know what's so crazy to me? I think about all the time, I always think about the first song in hip hop. I hope this don't frighten me. He probably will. And I always think about a hip, a hop, a hip, a
Rappers Delight.
You know what I'm saying? And I'll be thinking like, damn, bro, y'all be really acting like we just just couldn't, like we was the only niggas saying some shit that didn't make no sense.
That dropped in 1979. What followed that was not bullshit. Like, that was not the consensus, right?
That was the beginning of rap. That was like motherfuckers standing upright for the first time. Like, what do you want? Motherfucker had to discover fire. We take everything we got around us for granted. I want a computer, on the internet, surfing here and there. Somebody had to discover fire. How long would it have taken you to discover fire? If you was dropped on the earth with nothing, butt ass naked and cold, you never even heard of fire. You only seen it every now and then when there was a lightning strike, or maybe you lived next to a fucking volcano. When you gonna figure out how to use fire? How to produce fire? Shit, right now, nigga. If you're not a wilderness man, if I put you in the wilderness, how long is it going to take you to start a fire? My point is, you can't diss Sugar Hill Gang and Hip, the Hop, the Hibbie. They were setting the rules. They were lining up the very first basketball court, nigga. It was literally saying the name of what it is. A hip, a hop. You can't diss that shit. That's the very beginning. We're not respecting evolution, and that is the beef. The beef is the shit y'all doing is not evolution. Y'all might as well be going the hip, the hop, the hibbit. It's the same shit, nigga. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up.
Even now, you know, there's people like Playboy Cardi, right, who drop, you know, inaudible music, but you know, that's not the consensus. That's not, like, that don't represent what's going on in hip-hop currently, right? You know, there's people like Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, right, J.I.D. There are actual spitters. Even though you might consider her artistic, there are actual spitters, right? If you think about the era of rap, you don't just look at Playboy Cardi and say, yeah, Playboy Cardi speaks for, you know, this era of rap. He doesn't. Now there are obviously Cardi and his minions who are, you know, got a lot of momentum. They take up a lot of real estate in hip-hop. but you don't say, hey man, because Playboy Cardi is really popular, that that rap in 2026 was right? No, that's not rap, okay? Just like that era. Now, again, that era probably had a lot of BS. If you probably go back to like the early 80s, you'll probably hear a lot of BS, but there was a lot of legendary stuff coming out of it, right? So all in all, now if Lil Yachty is saying, yo, all eras had BS, had some BS, but y'all just hyper-focus on 2016, 2017, 2018, I agree. But I do feel like...
I would go further to say, in that early era, nobody was BS. Nobody. They the first people. If the first two dudes played basketball, neither one of them sucked. That's all I gotta say. Because nobody else don't even know what this shit is.
Much of why they hyper-focus on 2016, 2017, and 2018 is because of the transition. Before the mumble rap era, rap was in a lyrical state. People still cared about the music and the content, right? There was pushback. Like when Kanye started to get steam, there was pushback on Kanye overtaking 50 Cent and Drake having his wave and him being more melodic. There was pushback against that. But the music, was so profound that people kind of accepted it. But when they started to see the SoundCloud era gain steam, the novice and the hip hop heads say, see, I told y'all, this is why we were critical of Kanye and Drake, because we understood the natural progression. Started off with Kanye and Drake being more melodical, and now these kids is bastardizing hip hop. That's what it was. It was the old heads saying, haha, we told y'all what was going to happen.
And niggas was hipping and hopping in. And I'm like, come on, bro, that shit was weak as hell, bro. Like, niggas be acting like, no, bro, come on. Yeah, I do shoot my brother to the store, and I went in the grocery store with it. Come on, bro. Yeah,
that wasn't bad. In comparison to them squeaks and pops and shit you be doing, nigga, I mean, what the hell?
Like that shit wasn't weak.
At least it was on beat.
She was dumb weak, bro. But niggas be acting like we was the only ones that made some crazy shit. I think I agree with you. I do think that there was more intention, probably, right? You had more. You had a DMX and you had a Busta Rhymes and you had a Tupac and you had all.
See, but that's a huge leap in errors. The stuff you were critiquing is the essence, the very beginning of hip hop. Niggas was wearing suits. It was almost disco back then. That jump between that and everything after like Rakim and Kane and that whole era was the soil that all you niggas stand on. And that's also why I think LL Cool J is the GOAT. Not my favorite rapper, but he the GOAT. Just because you still know who he is. And he was around in the hip, the hop, the hip, them days. That's crazy when you think about it, right?
Tribe Called Quest,
yeah, all these, of course, and you had all the Prodigy and Mobb Deep. So you did have, there was a lot more. You know what I will say? I think that hip hop lost its, what's the word for just like the way there was division. Like if you was from the West, you sounded like it. If you was from the North, you sounded like it.
Yeah, I think the region.
Unfortunately for Lil Yachty, this clip hit the timeline around the same time as his Just Incredible freestyle dropped. So people is looking at this clip and then a new freestyle drop where Lil Yachty is reading off the phone during the freestyle. And people are like, hold on, man, this the guy that's critiquing our era? So unfortunately for him, those two things dropped, didn't help him. But when this clip hit the timeline, Lil Yachty is now public enemy number one. People are on social media tearing Lil Yachty a new a-hole. One user says the worst rappers of this era go on white boys' pods and shit on the origins of the form. Genre is overdue for a calling. I don't feel like Lil Yachty is one of the worst rappers of this era. I feel like that stigma.
You don't? Who is? I mean, there's so many of them. You don't even know. Lil Dead, Lil Got Shot.
Really applied when he first started. But Lil Yachty has kind of proven that he's a really good rapper. He's a really, really, really great rapper. Now, you could probably critique Lil Yachty, stealing flows from certain regions that he don't belong to. Lil Yachty having that Detroit wave. And then Lil Yachty, I feel like recently, is now trying to adopt, I don't know, kind of like a deep South wave. You feel me? Like a Louisiana wave. So that's that. But outside of that, Lil Yachty is a great rapper. Now, shitting on the genre, I don't know. I feel like, it's hard for me to critique Lil Yachty having this opinion on the old heads when y'all didn't consider this shitting on the genre when the old heads was doing it, right? Like when the old heads was talking about, rap is dead because these new age rappers in the SoundCloud era, y'all didn't consider it shitting on the genre then, so I'm not going to consider it shitting it now, right? One person says he's probably one of the worst rappers to ever touch a mic. I don't approve of that, man. Somebody says Lil Yachty and his handler, Adam Klugger, that's weak as hell.
What they say, Lil Yachty and his handler Adam Kluger run a ooze only dating app for the ooze with a ridiculously high standards. That's weak as I don't know what.
All right, man. All right, they claiming that Lil Yachty is working for them boys, bro. All right, somebody says the unk in me wants to be mad at this, but once he started rapping the lyrics, you realize he got a point here.
He don't have no point. He don't have no point. It was the inception. It was the very beginning. It just started. Rap was brand new. You can't critique the first. The first is uncritiquable. There was nothing before. Everything after y'all biting. Everybody. No matter if you spoke into a microphone to the beat, you are biting from that era. And you should be building on it. If you didn't just start as an original rapper, you should be adding something to the game. In your art, if you're an artist, but that's the argument. A lot of niggas ain't artists. They're not artists. They call themselves artists, but they don't have like a fucking song in their heart. They trying to get out and shit, nigga. They trying to get some money.
Hey, man. Somebody says whack rappers are getting way too confident. I prefer when they knew they were shit. Lil Yachty's not a whack rapper, bro. Like, I feel like the people who kind of feel like Lil Yachty is a whack rapper right now, those people don't listen to Lil Yachty or haven't listened to Lil Yachty in a while. Lil Yachty stopped being a whack rapper in like 2021. Like Lil Yachty found a fire ghostwriter, or he got in the booth, bruh, and like he used like the pandemic to learn how to rap. Because Lil Yachty is a spitter now. I hate when mediocre, unless the mediocre rappers complain about any rap that's before Rakim era.
Right. Rakim really brought in lyrics. And showed us, And for a minute, it was a build on that. For a minute, people, people was messing with that. All right, here we go. I'm going back over here.
I don't feel like this era like is uncritiquable, right? No, this era had a bunch of bullshit too. Like, yo, listen, man. I don't feel like anything is beyond critique.
You wouldn't even know who they are. You would have no idea. What you gonna critique the Fat Boys? Have you ever even heard of the Fat Boys? There'd be no Rick Ross without the Fat Boys. Stop playing with me.
Especially when Lil Yachty and his peers were offered up for critique.
All old school is not one thing. It's a whole 10, 15 years between goddamn the Sugar Hill Gang and a Tribe Called Quest. Stop it.
As well, right? One person says, again, the issue with Yachty, besides being a terrible rapper, is saying this dumb mess to a white podcaster who won't push back on his lack of cultural awareness. Now listen, Bootleg Kev is white. Bootleg, he is white now, but I gotta defend Bootleg Kev here. And I might say, I'm not gonna. No, Bootleg Kev is not culturally unaware. Now Lil Yachty is, but Bootleg Kev is fully capable of calling out Lil Yachty. If y'all believe that Lil Yachty lacks cultural awareness, Bootleg Kev has been in the culture for a while. Bootleg Kev is somebody who's like a hip hop historian, like Bootleg Kev is not somebody you could like call a vulture. Like that's not a title that has ever, been heaped upon Bootleg Kev. All right, so somebody says Rapper Delight was the first rap record dropped commercially in '79. Foundationally, he claims that critics get on his generation for not saying anything on the mic, and then brings up the earliest rap record that broke hip hop to the world. It's nonsensical. It's like a 90s R&B singer shitting on Robert Johnson. Dumb.
Yeah.
You can't dismiss the first of anything.
Right.
Yachty is frustrated because he's not respected as a rapper. He knows he sucks. He's beyond rudimentary. If he has to shit on a song that dropped before Run DMC, Rakim, Carousels, One Slick Rick,
Exactly.
Scarface, Ice Cube, MC Light, Ice-T, Big Daddy Kane, LL, Latifah, etc. That's the tell. Yo, I implore everybody to go ahead and check out like that song that Lil Yachty dropped with J. Cole, and come back and tell me that Lil Yachty is a trash rapper. Let's just find one more.
I listen to that. It's not. Oh God. Lil Yachty, J. Cole. Yeah, I heard it. It wasn't. I don't know. I don't even want to put it up. I don't even worth demonetizing my stream over this. It wasn't terrible. There you go. That's what you get. That's your OG score. That's your old hater score. It was not terrible. I didn't hate it. I didn't want to pop your beads out your head. Anyway, next story. Mic check. What else we got going on out this? I really want to get into some regular news, nigga, because y'all be bullshitting, man. Oh shit, they got Bill. They got Bill. You know Bill, yo, if nobody ain't in the Epstein files, nigga, you know Bill the Thriller's in that mug.
So former President Bill Clinton is set to sit for a closed-door deposition today over his relationship with...
Oh, they got on them silk shirts, nigga. He might as well have on a bathrobe with Diddy. Everybody hang out with Diddy, you get a bathrobe. Go on, player. Get in the robe. He got a lot of pictures with DJ Khaled in the bathrobe. It's the same thing. It's the same damn thing.
Position today over his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. The session comes just one day after Hillary Clinton testified that she had no information on Epstein's crimes.
I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew, and what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning.
She's starting to look like a puppet.
Never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance.
I never met Jeffrey, but me and Elaine, whatever this broad name is. You know what I'm saying? We have mimosas every now and then, here and there, never too much. But her husband, her homeboy, who was that man with the mask face? I never met him. Heard about him. My husband hang out with him. And they went shirt shopping together, but other than that, never met him.
No information on Epstein's crimes.
I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew, and what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance. It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Damn shame y'all couldn't have synced it. That's basically what she said. It's a shame you just synced it. I ain't know. Everything I said is on the up and up. I would say it, but I can't because my lawyers. But whatever I, you know what I'm saying, is don't quote me on it. But I didn't say I don't know. I never met him. We're not friends at all.
Let's bring in Fox News contributor Jason Chafe is live from Chappaqua, New York, and Fox News contributor Andy McCarthy. Jason, I go to you.
These niggas might have silk shirts too.
Because you used to be oversight. What is the goal of the hearing today?
Well, look, sexual predators, human trafficking, particularly of minors, it's a big issue. It's a big, broad issue. And you had one of the most notorious pedophiles out there using influence, creating proximity to powerful people. And we got to make sure in this country that we tackle that. There are a lot of victims here. And to get to the bottom of that, you got to understand who is doing what and how is that influence peddled. And, you know, unfortunately, the Clintons seem to have great proximity to this predator.
That's all I'm saying. But don't forget Trump neither. Yeah. Yeah. Don't forget him neither. Very close proximity. They say he wrote that nigga happy birthday love letters. Squiggly cursive. Just y'all look it up. I ain't even gonna put that on the stream.
You know, Andy, I agree with Jason. It is a serious issue, and it needs a lot of time. But I guess my one issue is the Bureau's job is to investigate and then go turn it over to the Department of Justice to charge someone. But it doesn't look like they're charging. They're just releasing documents.
Yeah, I think, Lawrence, this has always been one of the major problems and misunderstandings with this. There are a lot of, you know, truly disgusting, heinous crimes involved in these, you know, people who were in Epstein's orbit, Epstein himself. But I think what people need to understand about federal law, as opposed to state law, and you'll understand this, of course, having sexual relations with a prohibited person, whether it's a minor or other context, is not necessarily a prosecutable federal violation.
Why not? You think that's by mistake? You think that's by design? Y'all think that's by design? I have a theory. I know I'm always on here clowning and stuff, but I have a legitimate theory. I believe that a certain amount of people, I think part of what attracts people to powerful positions is access to blank. Y'all feel what I'm saying? I think sometimes that's the reason someone becomes a Catholic priest. That's the reason you even consider. It's like, why did the gynecologist decide to be a gynecologist? The male gynecologist. What was he when he was looking at all the parts of the body that he could specialize in? I think there's, and holding a lot of power, I think for a lot of these people, there's a particular joy within the work. What do you use your power for? What brings you joy? I don't know. But it just seems weird that something like that is not a federally indictable crime. Is that how they put it? All right, here we go. I'm sorry, y'all. I get the yapping.
Is not necessarily a prosecutable federal violation. Other context, relations with a prohibited person, whether it's a minor or other context, is not necessarily a prosecutable federal violation. So you can find a lot of evidence about truly heinous behavior and not be able to prosecute it in federal court. For example, having sex with an underage minor is a state crime. Mm-hmm. What federal prosecution is interested in is mainly the business of sex trafficking, and particularly the business of sex trafficking, bringing people across state lines. Correct. With respect to minors. So you can find a lot of activity that...
That's insane. That's insane. So what you saying, it's not federally illegal? Is that what that means by the omission of that law? Or is it intentionally set up that way? Because if we're arguing, because this has always been, first of all, it was always considered a myth. I'm starting to believe all the myths and urban legends that you hear are real. After all these weird, wide-eyed shut type of weirdo cases that keep coming up, the Diddy's, the Epstein's, the Ghislaine Maxwell's, the Harvey Weinstein's, it starts to make you believe that, oh, okay, these rumors and legends and stereotypes don't come from nowhere. This is crazy, man.
Very disturbing, but that won't necessarily mean it's prosecutable in federal court.
Okay, so let's pick up where that is, because, you know, Jason, there are state attorney generals, local prosecutors all over the country.
I believe.
This is quite simple. They can pass this information over and start to bring these people in.
Yeah, they should be doing that. I mean, it seems like for about 10 plus years, Jeffrey Epstein was able to operate without the type of scrutiny, and that's the question. Was he using and exerting this political influence to a degree that created a buffer for him to continue to do what he was doing? Because they had some of the most powerful people in the world involved and engaged in this. I think a lot of the questions that'll come in the room right behind me here have to do with money and influencing and peddling. And look at the proximity to the donations that were given to the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton Initiative, those types of things. Basically, Hillary Clinton said, you got to ask my husband. That's what happened yesterday. And he's going to have to answer those questions because he's certainly going to get them in the next few hours.
Yeah. And
yo, let me tell you something. A long time ago, I learned this. If the husband smoked crack, so do the wife. That's all I'm saying. At one point or another, she smoked some crack too.
I guess the one thing and the question that a lot of people don't want to ask is, who is Jeffrey Epstein? How did he get so close to so many different people for so long of both political persuasions and never really face justice? Who is he?
Yeah, I think what you're hitting on, Lawrence, is that apart from the legal stuff, that's got to be the most disturbing aspect of this entire episode, because what we're seeing is not only his proximity to power, but his proximity to power long, long after it was known what kind of activity he was up to.
He's protected.
We're hearing that people were involved in business relationships.
He was protected. People made moves around this dude that have been made for no one else. Nobody else. I think I don't even know if he was a real person. This dude looked like a mask anyway. That's how his general face looks, if you ask me.
Them virtually right up until the time the feds finally went after him in 2019.
Yeah, such a good point. We're going to be following it today. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining the program.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe.
What a whack name. I'm Steve Ducey. Shout out to Steve Ducey, everybody. All right, what else I want to look at? Y'all tripping. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. I know that I do not have a regular time that I freaking stream. I'm trying to get it together, man. We're a two-man operation. Well, you know what I mean? Legal expert left shocked and angry. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna tell you this shit's been tripping me out. First of all, let me go to some of my likes. I had some stuff on here. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Oh yeah. It's my brother. What up, nigga? How you? I'm filming right now. No, I don't sleep, son. You tripping. No, it's just wrong. Just swim slower for a little while. Right. Yeah. No, let me hit you back in like 20 minutes. All right, peace. All right, anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. That was rude as shit. If y'all watching the show Raw Dog later, just fast forward past this little piece right here. I ain't talking about nothing right here for a second, but I do got some stuff together. I wanted to talk about, oh, yeah. I know y'all, all right, here we go. I know y'all hate Anton Daniels. Already know. Just try to bear with me. Stop being so just think about it. Just bear with me. He's not a bad guy. He's not all about hating black women. If you watch the dude's show, he talks about a little bit of everything. Trending, current topics, the news in general. And this one right here, I don't know, man. I was feeling this. It's very interesting. It ain't really, it's Anton reacting to someone else, so I'm gonna let you see that person. I'm gonna let y'all see that person. All right. Here we go. This is I found it interesting. We'll see if y'all like it too. All right, the title of the video is Go Back to Mexico and Fight the Cartel.
Such a sad day in Puerto Vallarta. Explosions, gunfire, smoke everywhere. Super scary situation. Stay safe.
Right now is like the perfect time for all the tough ass Mexicans and the tough ass Hispanics that was causing chaos in the streets a week or two ago last month over ICE. Right now is the perfect time for you to go back home, fight for your actual homeland. Because you guys like to fight the US, but you scared as fuck of the cartels. And they're the reason why you're over here. Because they're terrorizing and killing you people. Right? So how many of you guys are raising your hand to go back home and fight the people that you should actually be fighting?
Ouch.
Getting mad at us, getting mad at the blacks because we ain't helping y'all fight ICE, getting mad at everybody, right? While your homeland is on fire. That's your homeland over there, right? But you over here.
No, it's they. No.
Right. No, take your ass home and fight them. Fight the people who are ruining your country, killing your people, your family, lighting shit on fire, right? Where are you guys? Because in the comments, my God, you guys are so tough and so strong and so proud to be Mexican. Take your ass over there right now.
Yeah, they probably Mexican, but here though, not over there. Over there, everybody's Mexican. Just like the rich dudes that talk about how hood they are. We'll go back to the hood. Give me all your money. Enjoy it. You so hood. You're so proud of your stripes and your street credentials. Go back there. They don't want to do that. That don't make sense. They're like, no. You know, I don't think you understand it.
Go ahead. And let's see you guys fight the cartels. The cartels are Mexicans' #1 fucking problem right now. It's been like that for millennia. I'm from right next door to Mexico. We all know how bad that shit is, right? So take your ass over there right now because they need you. They need you to fight the cartel, right? Go over there and be Zorro. Let's see what
He said go be Zorro.
happens. Because over here, y'all waving the Mexico flag, right? You guys are so tough. Fighting ICE, right? You guys got blockades and crews to where you guys are on walkie-talkies. And go over there and do that shit.
Yeah.
Let's see how successful you're going to be.
I agree with him. And it's so much tough talking here in the United States of America. There's so many people running around. Because, see, I don't see those No King protests right now. I don't see the protests against ICE officers right now. I don't see any of that. Everything is cool. Everything is mute. Nobody's saying nothing. They chilling. They slow motion. They ain't making.
They hiding, nigga. Fuck you talking about? They hiding. I will say this. This is going to be a controversial opinion. I don't care what y'all think. But if Biden or Kamala were president, what's happening in Mexico would be happening here. Here, right now. They would have been in position. The gate was wide open. It still probably could. It's still probably, if the order was given by the right person, it still probably could. But I believe, I'm sure of it. At some points at the border, they were having over 12,000 crossings daily. Every day? 12,000 niggas running across the border? You get to just sign up to be American? Why would you not? If you were an enemy of the United States, why would you not send in the troops? Why not? Why not? We dodged a bullet, y'all. I'm telling you. And I still believe that there is imminent danger where so far as foreign forces within our borders that mean us no good. I think it's only a matter of time. Too many people came over through those years. That's all I'm saying. Here we go.
No big deal about nothing whatsoever. I don't see them protesting ICE. I don't see them out in Minneapolis trying to figure out how they can get it popping. You know why? Because it's completely hypocritical to what they stand for when they're not actually saying nothing. They're whisper quiet about what's happening in Mexico right now. And we just trying to focus on getting people home, right? I would love for people that are stranded in Mexico right now to actually speak about what their political affiliation is. Because every time that I go online and I see somebody sent me a video, what I first see is people sitting there and saying, if somebody is having a financial problem or if somebody is pissed off about this or whatever, you know what they lean to? I wonder who they voted for. And of course they stereotype them because they think that all white people, most white people, especially if you're a straight white male, that you voted for Trump, and hopefully you did. And then they display their passion for you based off of your political views and affiliation, and that's how they go about looking at stuff. And that's the America that we live in. And I would love to see every last one of these people that's so gung-ho, that was out there for the raids, that was trying to prohibit. They was on walkie-talkies and they was on the Signal app and they had secret group chats and all of this stuff. And then you had to find it on X and all of this. And they was chasing police officers around. I would love to see those same people head over there to Mexico. I would love to see your local politician have something to say about what's happening over in Mexico right now.
Go fight your real enemy, the cartel.
No, where are the people just a few months ago that were saying that America is such an effed up place that they want to go live in Mexico?
Facts.
There was a large demographic of people. There was a large lump sum of people that was.
People say that about a lot of countries till they get there. People used to say that about Africa and different countries in Africa. And we'll go over there. They get there, the lights won't come on. And I'm not saying that's every place in Africa. I understand there are beautiful cities and all that other stuff in many other countries. But when you're used to a certain convenience, a certain amount of, the word I'm looking for is more than convenience, stability. A certain stable baseline of what will be accepted and what will not. Come on, man. America wins every time. I don't care how you put it, especially if you grew up here. The people who grew up here and advocate for other countries and prop them up over us, it baffles me. It baffles me.
Oh, America is such an effed up place. I'd rather go to Mexico. It's nice. They accept. Do y'all see what's going on over there now?
Yeah, go ahead.
The schools in Mexico are shut down currently right now.
Facts.
And if not all of them in a few days are all going to be shut down. The cartel is over there giving people ultimatums, bro. If things don't get right, we going into hotels. They already went inside airports and started shooting. We going to hotels, we going to people's homes, and y'all were just swearing all y'all's lives that America was such an effed up place. I'm Nigerian, right? My people were born in Nigeria. America's cool, yes. The people and our leaders, we might not agree with them all the time. You feel me? That's gonna happen. There's not a single group of leaders that are perfect. But that doesn't mean that your country is a terrible freaking place, bro.
Facts.
Because what's going on over there, if that happened over here? Like, stop that, bro. It doesn't matter what political side you belong on, bro. Sometimes we just gotta stop ourselves from saying very mundane, abysmal, stupid shit.
And a lot of times people are saying that because they're indoctrinated. They got Trump derangement syndrome. They're indoctrinated, and they hate Trump. They hate Trump so much so that they're willing to destroy their own country. They're willing to go against their own morals and values and views. Matter of fact,
and see, that's my thing. Like, I'm not necessarily a Trump supporter. But, you know, the sun shines on the dog ass once a year or something. I don't know how to I don't know how the quote goes. A broken clock is right twice a day. Some stuff I agree with Trump on. Whether or not I think he's racist, I think the Democrats are racist too. The Democrats are the party of slavery. Y'all do remember that, right? People like, no, they're not the party of slavery no more. They switched. They changed. They switched. They love black people. They accept black people. You know who else accepted black people? Slave masters. As long as you pay attention and you do what you're supposed to do. As long as you do what you're told and don't get out of line and don't try to leave, of course. Who that sound like? I'm not a Trump supporter either, but I can look at each issue in particular and make a decision about it, independent of one another. Like the monkey meme the other day was some bullshit. He put Obama in them face on the monkeys. That was very racist. Yes. But this right here, protecting that border, I agree.
They'll go so far as to degrade themselves to then have the same standards, morals, and values as things that they despise because they hate the Trump administration, because they hate Republicans. They have become so far left. They have went so far away from common sense that they are actually sitting there. I've seen people on the internet visibly saying that they support the cartels.
What?
That the cartels are better than ICE.
Hold on, my bad.
Of carjacking them, setting roads on fire. Now they over there burning stuff up, taking people's stuff, carjacking them, setting roads on fire, blocking off different roads, they're shipping meth in this country. They're shipping Fenty in this country. They're eroding every single piece of an American value that you can think of. And you have liberal apologists over here in the United States of America. Even black people, because y'all was eerily quiet when it came to the ICE raids. And then y'all show back up when it's another issue that you don't necessarily care about Trump because you're not necessarily against removing illegal migrants from this country, right? And so people are selectively, conveniently selectively outraged depending on the issue. And all of these Democrats are they're trying.
But why can't you be? I'm not against that. I mean, that's how I am. This bothers me. This does not. People care about issues that affect them personally. I personally think that something like the border, we should all universally agree has to be enforced. It seems like common sense to me, being neither a Republican nor a Democrat, but y'all let me know.
So hard to get things back to something that they can try to say, oh yeah, we support y'all on this. We support y'all on this. Demons, actual demons in real life that are living lies and supporting this liberal agenda that is against your own best interests, and they won't say nothing about what's happening over there in Mexico.
I don't make the rules.
The protesters have arrived to protest against the violence in Mexico. It warms my heart to see the Mexican population, the Hispanic communities, coming in arms and advocating for the peace and the justice and the innocent lives of Mexico that are constantly being attacked by the... Huh? Oh, those protests are not about Mexico?
No.
They're about ICE. Gotcha. I'm going to be completely honest with you. That is why all of these movements, the walkouts, the protests, the riots against the Trump administration for being racist, and we got to advocate for our neighbors and for the immigrants and for the southern neighbor of Mexico. We got to advocate for these people that bring so much to our land. Where are you now? If you're going to wave Mexican flags, why aren't you waving them right now?
Facts.
If you're going to shout at the top of your lungs about Viva Mexico and Justicia para nuestra familia mexicana, why isn't anybody saying that right now? Why is it that when it matters the most, crickets? But if it's trendy, or if it's to sell a new hat, if it's to sell a new shirt that says F Trump or abolish ICE, or we hate this and we hate that, or do all of this other garbage, that's when people want to be out there. But when
because ICE won't. You know what the cartel will do to you. ICE not gonna treat you like that.
Mexico actually needs you, you're nowhere to be found.
Yep.
There's one word that describes people like that.
Hypocrites.
Hypocrite.
I
thought you were gonna say coward.
I knew it. I knew he was going to say hypocrites. I thought he was going to say traitors. I was about to say traitors at first, but then he said hypocrites. But they are. They're fake. It's fake outrage. It's agenda pushing. It's pretending like you really care about what's best for America when really you just don't like what America is or what it's become or the fact that we're resetting because they almost completely destroyed.
They want America, but they wanted to be like their country. They wanted to be, you know, a new version of what they left. Like I like all the people and everything going on in my country. I just didn't. I just don't like poverty and those guys that keep shooting at me.
Blessing or curse?
My bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I know. Here we go. Algorithm down, nigga.
Blessing until some unknown number decides to call.
I could at least muted this shit for you niggas. I'm sorry. Oh, the skip ad thing is up.
Morrison.
All right, so this dude Jay Morrison, I don't know that much about. Let me get y'all some strong information about Jay Morrison. I know he's like a real estate person. This is not the nigga. Oh, it's him. It's another Jay Morrison. I know he like, why do I keep getting all this bad press? Oh man. He don't have a, well, they said apparently they saying he used to be a crook or something like that. High profile real estate, in fact. Yeah, so we'll look up that Jay Morrison. Jay Morrison. Mr. Jay Morrison. He don't have a Wikipedia page? They ain't got no news on this nigga? Okay, so he released the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. I do know that. And he got all the black people to come in and give him a little bit of money. They was like, yo, together we can restart Black Wall Street. It was a lot of videos and, you know. This is from Afrotech. Entrepreneur Jay Morrison encourages the black community to tap into business strong mindsets. Here, I'm going to let you niggas see it. The article goes on to say, before founding his growing business and organizations, Jay Morrison was busy trafficking drugs through the Upper East Coast and battling a dangerous lifestyle. That is until he found a way to turn his life around and break into the real estate market. From there, he went on to co-found the first black-owned real estate crowd fund and a wealth education institution designed to inspire and provide the black community with the tools they need to succeed. Oh man, shout out to Jay Morrison giving out them tools. To understand the depth of the Morrison journey, you must first know his origin story. The proud entrepreneur, co-founder, husband, and father shared his inspiring story of challenges and triumphs that have developed him into the business mogul he is today. His life tells a cautionary tale of turning your obstacles into stepping stones for success. His starts from humble beginnings. The nigga, there's a lot of wind up to this shit. His starts from humble beginnings is now successful businessman is unlike the typical rags to riches story. He encourages many bumps in the road. This is written by him himself. Basically, it sounds like raised by a single parent. We get it. Grew up in tumultuous environments, surrounded by blah, blah, blah. You already know. Despite the rough upbringing, nigga went to jail, came home, started scamming you niggas. That's basically what they saying. I don't want to put it like that, but that's basically what they say. That's what they've been saying about this nigga for a minute. It's a lot of stuff on him, actually. Your boy, who's the dude to break down scams? Pocket Watching with JT. He did a whole thing on him. I'll probably make an edit cut on that. Anyway, Flacco's talking about this nigga right now. Apparently, they question him about stealing the money. The alleged money. Because I don't know. Y'all see, I don't know. I seen this nigga a few times scrolling. They say he do real estate, but not really. Maybe it's a DJ Envy situation. I don't know. The title of this video, coming from Poetic Flacco, is Fake Guru Panics After Being Confronted About His $11 billion scam.
YouTube's biggest scammer is back with more lies and deception. And at this point, bro, you kind of have to blame the people who are platforming him. Obviously, I'm talking about Jay Morrison because the title of biggest scammer would be fitting for no other than Jay Morrison. Jay Morrison really ran amok on YouTube, bro. Like, he ran amok on social media in general. We don't applaud scammers on this channel, but you kind of got to applaud Jay Morrison to come from where he come from and to be able to finesse multiple millions, 10 plus millions of dollars. It's like that's something that that's unfathomable.
Not talk.
But before Jay Morrison could hit his big lick, Jay Morrison hit a couple of other smaller licks that's still pretty impressive. Like, for example, here's one of Jay Morrison's legendary scam. Jay Morrison was able to get in connection with an NFL player. At the time, the NFL player, Muhammad Wilkerson, was the highest paid defensive end in the NFL. Jay Morrison somehow managed to befriend this dude and got him to invest in Jay Morrison's uniform company. He gave Jay Morrison about $250,000, man. All right, Jay Morrison ran.
No, not nice. That's not what I'm saying. I was just anyway.
Off with the $250,000, and that was the story at the time.
I just created a $47 ebook in 3 minutes flat using AI. Time me while I do it again. Already in Designer, interfaces loaded.
Yo, I was another brother telling them AI accents. Y'all any good at that? I could feel it's no soul behind his voice. I'm telling you, I be knowing, son.
Who came out and he spoke on how Jay Morrison was able to rope him in to being a mentee. This is a dude from the streets, was selling drugs, was trying to legitimize his money. So he gave Jay Morrison $50,000 for a real estate deal. Jay Morrison told him, hey, I'm going to buy houses. You are also going to come in as an equal partner on the deals I do. Your name is going to be on the paperwork. Man, Jay Morrison took that man's money. He started to inquire about the houses and the projects. Jay Morrison kind of gave him the runaround when he started to see paperwork for the quote-unquote house, that Jay Morrison was purchasing with the money.
So he was robbing the robbers. That could be lucrative if you come off like you are legitimate and you know the robbers. It could be lucrative. It could also be very, very, very dangerous.
Paperwork for the quote-unquote house, that Jay Morrison was purchasing with the money. His name was nowhere on the paperwork. He starts to get suspicious. He asks for his money back. Jay Morrison goes to him. So there's countless of stories like this, bro. That's $300,000
allegedly
from just two people. All right, and there's countless of stories. But Jay Morrison's biggest lick was probably this Tulsa real estate fund, where Jay Morrison raised more than $10 million.
In 2018, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund.
That's the one I was talking about, y'all, where they said he was going, like Tulsa, Oklahoma, like Black Wall Street. Like he felt like he was going to bring, he invoked the spirit of Black Wall Street. Because, Black people, we like a good feeling. So he evoked that spirit, that Black Wall Street spirit. He played Rosewood for everybody. He watched Ving Rhames do that thing when he was on the rope with his neck. Scrap it. They was like, we got to get this nigga some money.
It's regulated by...
Was probably this Tulsa real estate fund, where Jay Morrison raised more than $10 million.
In 2018, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. It's regulated by the government, the SEC, allowing qualified people to crowdfund with others with the goal of investing and owning real estate. 15,000 people joined the movement, but 6 years later, that $11.7 million that they've raised has nearly dried up, and many of the investors are pointing their finger at one person.
And as a fellow real estate developer, I took a liking to what he was talking about.
And Julian Gordon says it seemed that Jay Morrison had it all figured. He called it the Tulsa Real Estate Fund in honor of what was known as the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma back in the early 1900s.
Told y'all. They ain't play Rosewood, but they played something. They played something to bring that slavey. I'm telling you, there's nowhere in the world that his seminar, whatever he gave to get people to invest in this, it definitely was in black and white, and people was humming at the beginning of it. I guarantee it. It's a particular tune. It's a particular note or pitch in a nigga's soul that could pull that money out of his pocket. I'm telling you, they do it at church, and he tweaked into that for the real estate fund.
The Tulsa Real Estate Fund was a unique concept and turned out to be the largest black-owned real estate crowdfunding.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. What I told you.
Everybody had to put in at least $500.
They going to vote. Look at this. Damn. I'm going to get some of that freedom. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lord. Did he have a pastor? If he had a pastor, that would have just set it off, nigga.
Black-owned real estate crowdfund. Everybody had to put in at least $500. Gordon, a real estate investor himself, he put in $40,000, the most of anyone.
I was a friend at this time, and I sat in the Legacy Center in his corner office, and I told him straight up that your name has a lot of mud in the streets, but you have 15,000 people who are your biggest fans and believe in you, who he has since then alienated and really cut us off in many ways.
But Gordon says that,
see, but that's dumb of you though, son. If you knew his name was mud, you knew it already. You was like, look at all these people. Come on, man. You should have known. You should have known. You about to be part of the big one. But then again, being an investor, part of it is being a risk taker. And I don't think he did a proper risk assessment on who this guy is. I researched him for like 3 minutes before the show, and I wouldn't have gave him no money. I'm just saying.
he still noticed that the math wasn't mathing. That $11.7 million initially raised was being swallowed up, losing millions year over year, according to these SEC filings, with no recorded profits. And at the same time, the fund manager, Jay Morrison, was allegedly paying himself in management fees.
He's eaten over $1 million, almost probably $2 million by now in management fees. He's paid his wife through the organization. She used the facilities without probably any payment. She hosted her podcast there. She hosted her greenlit ATL events there. And I guarantee that there's no transactions of her paying us, the investors or the entity, for the usage of that space.
Eventually. So what was giving him legitimacy that people, although he had these, was it just the internet? Did he just talk good on the internet? Did he mix up well with the other podcasters? Because I saw him on what they used to call itself Earn Your Leisure. I think they changed their name. But I remember seeing him on their podcast, and I didn't watch the episode. Like I was somewhat ignorant to him because you just simply can't watch them all. But that put smut on the other person's name. That makes $1 million worth. I mean, that makes not $1 million. What's it just called? Earn Your Leisure, or whatever their current name is. It puts smut on their name. Like, oh, you a Jay Morrison supporter. Once again, these are all allegations. We don't know if Jay Morrison is truly in the wrong. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just giving you my thought process as I watch this.
It came crashing down. They had to sell the building. Everybody lost money but Jay Morrison, right? Like, Jay Morrison is the only person who made out with millions of dollars in this situation. Now, Jay Morrison was forced into isolation. Everybody on the internet kind of, treated him like a pariah.
He didn't care. He got the big check. He don't care at all.
Now, there are certain details about this particular fund that I'm not really too keen in diving into details about. For example, people were calling out certain purchases Jay Morrison made for himself with the funds. There were certain employees coming out at the time claiming that Jay Morrison was paying them with the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, even though the Tulsa Real Estate Fund is separate from Jay Morrison's other businesses. So, for example, if it's a fund that investors are receiving money from, but you are siphoning money from this and putting it into this business, however, the investors aren't getting paid from this business, then that's essentially fraud, right? So Jay Morrison was doing a bunch of this, misappropriated all the money, and now everybody lost money, okay?
Is he in legal jeopardy?
But him. $11+ million down the drain. So Jay Morrison decided he was going to come out of isolation today and do an interview, right, with a guy from Social Proof. And this entire interview was just Jay Morrison making excuses and blaming.
I wonder if he in trouble with the law. Because that seems Well, I ain't lock them up. There's so many tricky things you can do with money before they get you. But when they get you, you still enough. And you don't cut in Uncle Sam, they'll come get you. They'll come get you. But they'll let you do a whole lot of tricks before then. And it's weird the deals they'll make. They'll be like, oh, okay, just give me most of the money back. Do a little bit of time in jail. You can come home, still be rich. Unless you Bernie Madoff them. I don't know if y'all know about him. He went crazy. They was like, nigga, you went too far. You dug too deep in the cookie jar.
Everybody else but himself.
So we want to be the rich uncle for the community that you could call, like, hey, I got a good idea.
I don't trust his eyes. I don't trust his general look of a nigga. He got that, yeah, come on now. He got that, I'm trying to convince you face. I don't trust his general eyes.
Today and do an interview, right, with a guy from Social Proof. And this entire interview was just Jay Morrison making excuses and blaming everybody else but himself.
So we want to be the rich uncle for the community that you could call, like, hey, I got a good idea. Yeah. Let's invest, right?
But yet you're the only person who got rich off the fund.
And so it was a $50 million, the business plan was based on a $50 million raise. And we were on, in my opinion, we were on track for that. I mean, raising several million your first week. Mm-hmm. Okay, we rolling. Yeah. And then that first week though, and I was planning for opposition. I thought it would be like white nationalist or like the other side or something like that. People are opposed to black people unifying around economics. Yeah. And I
don't work like that. And that's the boogeyman. He gave y'all a boogeyman. He gave y'all a hum and a boogeyman. What? If he mentioned that, you know he brought that up. After they finished humming and the preacher, they tried to stop us. They can't stop us. And it's like, yeah, they did try to stop us. That was a long time ago. They know. They know. They didn't think y'all was going to try again. Just shut up and do it. Without all the humming and the hawing. Had it been an actual thing. Had it been an actual thing with smart, strong investors that were committed to the community and all that, what a great opportunity that might have been. Marketed towards us. What a great opportunity. You know what I mean? But come on, man. When one person sees opportunity, somebody else sees a victim.
And prepared for the onslaught of bloggers and podcasts and just naysayers and anti-Treff movement that started like a week after we launched.
This man got some nerves, yo. He's about to complain that black folks only gave him $11 million and not the full 50. So that's why the fund failed, sir.
And that kicked up so much that our month 6, which was January 2019, month 6, the SEC literally knocked on our door in Sandy Springs. Mm-hmm. And then the FBI knocked on our door in Sandy Springs. The SEC came to our office in Lenox Road in Buckhead. Mm-hmm. And so a dual investigation started because of all it's a Ponzi scheme, this is a fraud, this is this noise.
This is before slander though.
Right, that's one of the what they call now, the Earn Your Leisure guys. I'm not up on what they're doing currently. I haven't watched them in a while.
No, the slander started week 1, bro.
Dang.
Yeah. Tone Talks, Yvette Carnell, who ended up being the person that started the False Prophets page. It was like a whole group of them who were just like, and most of them were like the ADOS community, who were like about reparations. Mm-hmm. And they just had some kind of like beef with me.
Because you was cutting in on the grift. If anybody gonna do the Tulsa, Oklahoma, it should be Tariq Nasheed with the FBA community. And here you come with your sneaky eyes nodding and shit. Yeah, white man, right? Yeah. They like, hey, wait a minute.
This man came out of isolation after 4 years for this. This man has learned zero, nothing at all. Presenting them having a problem with you scamming black folks as they had a problem with me for no reason. I don't know why. They were picking on you. No, they weren't picking on you. They were calling out the fund for being a scam. They were calling out the fund for being misproperly ran. They were saying this fund was going to make nobody money but Jay Morrison, and they were ultimately correct in their assessment. So history tells us they weren't just bullying you or picking on you. They were being whistleblowers to a really, 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 really big problem that came to be true. Now, Jay Morrison will tell you, no, they made the problem, come to fruition, right? We didn't have a problem before them.
And then the guy who does one of the Watch Your Money podcast, before he had that podcast, he was offended by, I think I provoked him on the Shade Room. I had posted a video on the Shade Room of me teaching like some tax strategies to Kerry Hilson and B. Simone, some of our friends. And he was in the comments on Shade Room before he ever had a brand. And like, hey, I'm an accountant, you shouldn't be saying that. And I said something probably slick back, just kind of my, my arrogance and kind of whatever. And after that, he was just locked in. And so he had some influence with the NFLPA. I think one was his frat brother or a college mate. So he had the NFLPA send out a warning letter to the whole entire NFLPA of all current and retired players, saying warning about our fund. This is in the first month. So I'm getting to the biggest mistake.
For sure.
So we got a national credible organization like the NFLPA warning all. Mind you, we had like several NFL players in our fund. Rest in peace to Marius Thomas, my brother, like literally like one of my brothers.
I'm sure you scamming Mo Wilkerson out of $250,000 had zero factor in the NFL warning their NFL players not to invest in a Tulsa real estate fund.
NFL Hall of
Right. They're just being mean to you. That had nothing to do with it. They like, he's already bit one of y'all. Don't talk to him.
He was in our fund, and others. And
how is he not in jail for this? It's got to be some sort of technicality. Yo, if y'all like this video, I'll do a deeper dive and look into whether or not he was prosecuted and how and why and how he escaped prosecution and clear scams allegedly. Apparently, that things that seem to be a clear scam. I don't know.
That was a tarnish. And then all the online noise. And then the SEC and the FBI started investigating us in month 6 of our company starting. So imagine you start a new company, you're excited about it, you pumped up. To your point, you tell your staff and your team, everybody put in $2,000, we're going to go do this, build this studio out. And imagine the 6th month of you doing so, the FBI come investigate you and your company and whatever other governing agency come investigate your company. So not just the legal cost, which is about $500,000 to defend that, an 18-month investigation, and what it did to my team, because they got all my team laptops, iPads, phones, they're screening everybody's stuff with these devices. And so my team has to go home, my staff has to go home to their families and explain why they're under investigation. So to the point of what the biggest mistake was, when that happened, and we were raising about $1 million a month at that time, it dwindled down to $100,000 a month. It was too strong of a current to continue to raise capital upstream against slander,
Take notice of how he continues to point out that what people were saying at the time was defamation, but everything they said came true. People were saying this fund was a scam and it wouldn't make anybody money but Jay Morrison, and that came true, right? The fund didn't make any investors money. Investors lost all their money. So what exactly was the defamation? He will say, yo, they pushed that narrative, right? They're the reason why the fund ain't make no money, because they pushed the narrative that it was a scam and scared everybody away. Jay Morrison is about to try to get us to feel sorry for him, right? Because he went from raising a couple $1 million in the first couple weeks to only doing $100,000 a month and ultimately raising $11+ million. Can you imagine somebody who got a free $100K every month, a free $100,000 every month, trying to make us fam?
He got bills. He got to run an office that he don't produce nothing out of but lies.
You had enough money to do what it do. You were bad at your job.
Allegedly. I don't know. That is just going by the information I've gathered. And it's not a ton. Let me know if y'all interested in this, and I'll go dig into this because this sounds crazy.
You were poor at it. And some might even say you were damn near unethical and scammy with it, right? Because paying employees with the Tulsa fund from your business, allegedly, like, it's crazy. You buying certain properties in your name when it's the Tulsa is crazy. You paying yourself up for almost $2 million out of $11 million fund is crazy.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44. Guys, Nina just built.
We're a company that's based on equity, having capital to loan out capital or to give capital infusions or partnerships. When you can't raise capital as a company where your business model is based on deploying capital, it's a struggling business model at that point.
So why you don't give it back? Why you don't give it back? Why didn't you make any smart investments with all this capital you had? Or you didn't have enough? You didn't have enough. You didn't have enough to really to hedge those big bets. It's gonna be a hedge fund managed by this 3-time felon ass nigga allegedly. I don't know how many felonies he got. I don't know nothing about this thing. Allegedly.
And so my biggest mistake was not recognizing that sooner, understanding how severe those investigations were and just that whole climate was. And if I was coaching somebody now, was starting a fund, and their fund got under investigation in 6 months, and it was an online army opposing their efforts to raise capital from online, I'd be like, shut it down. Like, tell your investors, hey, like, the climate's too rough. We need to wait till this investigation settle, find out what's going on.
All right, that's cool, but what about that money I gave you? Yeah, that's too much. We just need to just shut it down, just settle down. But yeah, okay, yeah, but I want my money to settle down. Don't settle that shit, nigga.
And then we'll maybe reconvene. But my biggest mistake at that is other mistakes I'll lay them all out. Yeah, for sure. But that was one of the biggest ones early. Was like I tried to bully my way through it.
Right.
Like I'm gonna do it anyway. Like I hear y'all hating. It's cool. Watch. I'm gonna show you. And mind you, I was worried about the investigations, not because I did anything wrong, but I'm a black man with a fund called Tulsa Real Estate Fund. Right. It's named Tulsa as a code word, Black Wall Street. Yeah. I don't live in Tulsa. I've been in Tulsa 3 times. Yeah. Right. I wasn't called the Black Wall Street Fund, but I figured it wouldn't get approved by the SEC. Sure. So I did code word Tulsa. So I'm like, oh man, about to Garvey me. Like
the recurring pattern among these dudes, they all got like the savior complex. They all regard themselves in a higher light than they really are. Dude,
nah, that's the grift. That's the grift. He don't regard himself no kind of way. You got to touch that part of a nigga's soul. I'm telling you, it's something that's been bred in us that you can't keep me. All my life I had to fight. That's what niggas want to do. They want to say that. That's what they want to do. All my life I've had to fight. That's the whole. If you can string that chord, you can make yourself a multi-millionaire. Even the white pastors know how to string that chord. I'm telling you, it's a particular little thing that you do that and you play some. Oh Lordy, Lordy, Lord. He's singing the old Negro spiritual.
Dude is putting himself in the same light as Marcus Garvey. No, the FBI or whoever probably started investigating you because, there were too many narratives around you being a scam. They weren't targeting you because they felt like you were like the new Black Messiah. That's crazy. But a lot of these dudes have a savior complex, right? They believe that they have this higher sense of life. They're sent here to save people. But ultimately, they all end up being crooks.
If you feel like that, you'd be walking the earth like Jesus, barefoot, nigga. Don't hit me with that. Don't hit me with that. And Flacco, you're naive if you believe that too, man. Come on, brother. You know better than that.
Okay. Now, this dude would even go on to say that he was trying to save black folks, but black folks just ain't want to be saved.
It's natural, right? But
I mean, I empathize with it. It's like, but when you met me, you knew, like my moniker was Young Malcolm.
Yeah.
Like I went around the country teaching for free in inner city projects. Like I've been one of my two best-selling books is called The Solution: How Africans in America Achieve Unity, Justice, and Repair. I've been a revolutionary. What has happened? What has been the protocol for all our revolutionaries? So it's like
hate, disdain,
right? Dismantle.
He a revolutionary with money. He want to save black people, but he don't want to save them no money though.
Discrediting.
Matter of fact, that's what he's trying to save. He a revolutionary for black money. Save black money. Black money matters.
If you literally look at the definition of COINTELPRO, it literally says to discredit, dismantle, disrupt, right? All these different things. And so I just knew what I was walking into. Like I always said, like this is a little epiphany I had. I did like a kind of a main documentary years ago. And I remember being at the United Nations in 2013. I met with the United Nations Humanitarian Division. Yeah. And this guy like Dirk Seeger, he was like somebody from like Germany, he was at the UN in New York. And we were talking about humanitarian efforts. And I told him, I said, if God made me a deal to give up my life so that my people could be repaired, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I give up all my future, all my potential, my whole entire life for black people to have the repair.
Yeah.
And when
you believe that shit, you out of your goddamn mind. This nigga ain't trying. This ain't give up. How about you give my money back? So much you can give up your life and get repaired. Nigga, repair my bank account, nigga. What the fuck is you talking about? Allegedly again.
This reputational stuff happened. God spoke to me and was like, don't start complaining to me about your reputation being assassinated. You said you were willing to give up your whole life for my people. So if you're not willing to give up your reputation and put that on the altar, you definitely wasn't willing to give up your life.
God said no such thing. God told me to tell the people, he said no such thing, and stop lying on his name, man. Yo, these dudes are obsessed with being like revolutionaries and the Black Messiah, not because they want to save people, but being a Black Messiah puts you in control of culture. And once you're in control of culture, you can enrich your pockets to infinite degrees. Jay-Z has been doing it for years. Jay-Z has presented himself as the voice for Black people. So hence, whenever these billionaires,
Listen, did you know that there's a way to earn from home by helping businesses get the money
these billionaires and gazillionaires want to do business with somebody who can control culture, right? Who can run a psyop for them. You know who they call? They call Jay-Z, right? When the NFL had a Black people problem,
right? You got to get on to sell out. You know what I mean?
Right? When we were boycotting, you know who they call? They called Jay-Z to make us quiet. Once you present yourself as the leader of Black folks, you now is like in a position to monetize and enrich like no other. That was his goal, right? Yo, these dudes also did this weird thing, right? They did this this performative live stream, which was like weird, right? They did this performative like live stream where Jay Morrison took questions live, but it was literally like, yo, it was Jay Morrison taking questions from literal fans. So you put a man like Jay Morrison, who knows all about this kind of stuff, who knows every detail about this kind of stuff, you put him on a live stream with fans who probably heard bits and pieces somewhere, and this was supposed to be like some type of open and fair discussion that was supposed to produce like the objective truth. Cut it out, bro. Jay Morrison ran circles around the fans because he know more about this. Put Jay Morrison in front of like pocket watching with JT.
Oh no.
Put Jay Morrison in front of what happened to Common Sense. Put Jay Morrison in front of people who can match Jay Morrison's knowledge of how these things work and challenge him. Putting Jay Morrison in front of fans, man.
I never heard of what happens to Common Sense. What happened to Common Sense? Let's see if we can find that channel. That sounds interesting. I'm sorry, I took the long way around, didn't I? What happened to Common Sense? Okay. I'm gonna check that out later, y'all. I ain't gonna put that on y'all because I don't even know what's going on with him over there.
Cut it out, bro. But y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this, man.
No, you niggas let me know. I was gonna watch. Was I gonna watch another? I thought Flacco had another one for me. Oh, I am. All right, one more. I know y'all like, yo, fuck Flacco. Y'all niggas stay hating on Flacco, man. Flacco, all right, you're a good reporter. This was crazy because you know he got a beef with Corey Holcomb right now. But this one was.
I understand why you feel the way you feel, because Master taught you the way he taught you.
Ladies and gentlemen, somebody posted this and said, free my cousin. Let me just speak for everybody out here who don't like a bunch of noise. No, they don't need to free your cousin. But actually, he needs to stay in there. Not forever, but he need to stay in there until he calm down. I don't think he need to be outside. He don't need to he don't have to let me back outside look. And if he don't calm down, he gonna just stay in there. But he need, to me, in my professional opinion, I don't think he need to be outside.
This motherfucker like a Batman villain, yo. He a super villain.
Right now, you know, just like when you put kids on timeout, I think that where he at is the right place, where he need to be for now.
We don't even know what he did. We don't even know what this nigga did. It's like, okay.
Not forever, just for now. For the moment.
He ain't still looking like that, man. Stop. Calm down. It was a rough night.
For the moment, that's all.
He could be in pain.
Just for the time being, until he settled himself. And it looked like that might take a while. So
holy shit, yo. He mad. You don't know. Don't be mad at this nigga.
right now he need to breathe. Just like do some reading. Maybe convert to Islam. I don't know. Outside is out the question. Ladies and gentlemen,
What if he just mad, yo? He got locked up. You don't know. You can't be sure about this nigga. Yo, all right, so here we go. I watched this one video from what's this nigga name? Poetic Flacco.